Hey guys, welcome to Highly Strange Daze. I'm Amy.
And I'm Shannon.
Hey.
But I'd say this is probably the biggest paranormal experience of my life thus far. Other than
was
if
that
you
all that
include me.
happened at the house, though? Is that it?
Well, there was something that happened at the house, and I'll tell you what it was real quick. So, like we said, my grandpa was in and out of the house. He was living in Oklahoma or
Alabama.
Texas? Alabama. He was living in Alabama. Okay, I was
with
totally
my
off.
brother.
Okay, I didn't even know your
Oh.
brother lived in Alabama. I thought he lived in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
So anyway, he had been living in Alabama.
Oklahoma and Missouri. Where did I get
No,
that?
Oklahoma. She grew up in Oklahoma and
Mhm.
we're living in Missouri right now.
Okay,
So you're
gotcha.
you're getting this right
Yeah.
stuff. It's just we've moved
Yeah.
around a lot. Well, we've mostly stayed in the same area our whole lives, but I've lived, and I'm only 23. I probably lived in like 11 or 12 houses or houses, apartments, stuff like that. It's crazy. And it all started after this. That's when we
Yeah.
started moving around.
Mhm.
But yeah, so anyway, yeah, so he had been going in and out. I think if I remember correctly, he ended up moving in with us because your brother was afraid that he was going to take his own life in the house whenever we were gone. That's
I
something
didn't know that at the time.
Oh, you didn't know that
I
at
didn't
all?
know
Did
that at
Dad
the
know
time.
that?
No, I don't
Oh,
think.
your brother just knew that?
Yeah, I think he was just concerned.
Because I remember him saying it very clearly before he passed away, because unfortunately her brother passed away 3 years and 1 day later.
Yeah, and they had the same name.
It was very weird, and I predicted that he was going to die on the same day, and he died like a couple hours later, like literally like at night. So like it might have even been like really close to the same day. But anyway, but yeah, so he had been back and forth doing kind of his own thing, and so he had only been there for a little bit. But my brother and him had a bunk bed. My brother slept on the top bunk, and he slept on the bottom bunk. Sometimes if I was kind of scared or whatever, I would go in and I would just lay on the bottom bunk. So growing up in Florida, and as someone who lives in Florida, you probably know thunderstorms are all the time. They're crazy. Hurricanes, the whole 9 yards. So I was totally I was totally used to it though. Like because I lived in Florida, I wasn't scared of thunderstorms. It was just like a normal thing. I actually kind of liked thunderstorms. But for some weird reason, this one night I got up in the middle of the night, and I had this feeling like I needed to go check on my little brother because of the thunderstorm, which again, super weird because I didn't have an issue with it. Was scared of everything, but not thunderstorms for some reason. But anyway, so I walk in there, and I can see the tree on the wall, and it's like going, crazy. Like the shadow of the tree is like the really scary one. And like I said, it freaked me the hell out for like no reason. But anyway, so I'm looking at it, and then I look on the bottom bunk of the bed. My little brother's asleep on the top bunk. There's a flash of lightning. And when the lightning flashes, I see a shadowy figure on the bed laying down, smiling back at me.
Oh,
I just got cold chills.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, so I saw a shadowy figure and normally, like I said before, I'm a total scaredy cat.
Can I ask you the shadowy figure? Like, did he have a hat, or was he just like what was the shadowy figure? Was it like a man?
I remember, all I remember is it was just kind of like
Was it kind of like just let me show you, because this has been a very popular figure that's been
the Hat Man, the Benadryl Hat Man or something.
Yeah, the Hat Man that's been around doing his rounds. This guy.
Oh yeah. So I don't remember. I'm not going to say it wasn't him. But I'm also not going to add any details
that
I don't know for sure.
Kind of like there's
he
hangs out in all different kind of.
I would say in the fact that yes, you see a shadow there. I don't remember a hat, so I'm not going to say anything about the hat. But yes, it was kind of like a shadow like that. But when he smiled, it was like not yellow. It was white. So I just saw a white smile, and then as I saw the white smile, I saw that there was like a shadow almost in the form of a body. Yeah, something kind of similar to that, except for instead of seeing his eyes, or maybe I saw his eye. I don't remember. I'm not going to,
there is somebody out there that when you smile,
shit! When I saw, I'm not a scaredy cat anymore. But the second one from the left,
yes, me too.
That was the one that freaked you out too. Yeah. The second one from the left.
That one, yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I want to say that's necessarily, again, like I'm not going to tell you it was one thing or another. All I
But it
remember,
was
but
that
when I
level
saw
of
that,
creepiness. Okay, gotcha.
oh yes, and when I have not had a physical reaction like that in years.
I did too.
I've not had a physical reaction to something scaring me in years, but when you popped that up, that scared me, and it was that one that scared me. None of the other stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was just like just a shadow. Yeah, again, like I don't remember 100% perfectly. Not going to embellish and accidentally say something wrong, but yes, it was just a dark figure, very similar to that. So yes, to anyone at home who's watching, that would be a good frame of reference, though.
Yeah.
Whether it was exact or not, that'd be the closest thing I think we could probably get to it. Oh, that's going to haunt me in my nightmares tonight. Okay, so anyway, no, you're fine. You're good. We're straight. We're chilling. No, you're good.
So
it's a good thing to get a visual reference.
He smiled, and then what happened? He smiled.
Right, he smiled, and like I said, I was a very scared child. I would not hesitate to go into my mom and dad's room. Would not hesitate, but for some reason, I just felt I need to go back to my room, lay down, and pretend I never saw anything ever again. And I didn't bring that up to her until after he'd already passed away.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever mentioned it, which I tell my parents everything. I still tell them everything.
TMI.
I mean, I have ruined their lives with some of the information I've given them, unfortunately, and I regret it deeply now that I'm in a better headspace. But holy moly, I give them way too much information. But anyway, yeah, so I just decided for some reason, I was like, I'm going to go to bed and I'm going to just keep this to myself. And that's very out of character. Very out of character. So I don't know how that happened.
It's not out of character for children, though, that are witnessing this type of thing. So it's not out of character for children per se. But
for me, I went through weird stuff, and I had traumatic events before this that have nothing to do with this, completely, unrelated to the paranormal. I had very, very traumatic events as a child. And I was completely honest about it.
The paranormal, because the paranormal
I think so too.
Off of the trauma.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I didn't feel traumatized at that point, by the way. Like the trauma that I had been through, I dealt with well. Mm-hmm. But that being said, I had been through a lot of stuff, and it didn't really change the way that I acted. I always told my parents about everything, So
he was scared to death of E.T.
E.T.?
Yes.
Girl, you don't even understand how bad this was. I would make my mom blindfold me while we walked through Blockbuster just because I was afraid I would accidentally see ET. It was bad. Like, I had issues, man. Yeah. I had issues.
It was really bad.
It's embarrassing. You can laugh. It's fine. You can laugh.
No, I was afraid. I always tried to sleep with my mom at night because I've always been afraid of the dark, and so I get that kind of feeling. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I slept with them for the first couple of years of my life until they're like, "We need our own space. Go away." And then they had to force me out, lock the door.
Yeah, my mom did do it. She actually would lock the door, and it's just I have trauma from that.
Oh yeah. Well, she did it after years and years. She did that to me. And at the point I needed it.
I was only 5 or 6 when she was doing it. So.
Oh. Yeah.
And forced to sleep in a basement for the first time in my life. And I was terrified.
No.
And then my sister
said,
she goes, Amy, last night I saw an old lady rocking in that rocking chair. And it was over for me. Overdone. I was never in that basement alone again.
No. Oh my God.
Oh, I'm sorry that happened.
I still feel awful about I never again would I sleep in a basement.
Oh, we're in our basement right now.
We're in our basement right now.
You're not sleeping in it, thankfully.
No. Although I was promised the entire basement when I moved up here because I moved after they did. I was promised an entire basement. I don't have a basement. No, it's fine. I'm cool with my room.
Okay, so you saw this weird man. What else went down?
That's all that I saw in that house. Me personally. But it does kind of connect to a story, potentially connects to a story that my mom might want to share, that happened after he passed away. We had the ashes, and they stayed, I'm not telling your story by the way, but, we had ashes, and he was going through a divorce, or he was at least separated, and maybe they hadn't filed the paperwork for the divorce. His wife was really, really crazy, and he wanted away from her. Like, he hadn't been living with her for quite some time, from what I understand. But yeah, hadn't been living with her for quite some time. But even though they were estranged, when he passed away, she said, "Oh, I want to mix our ashes together." So she gave us this little teeny tiny sack of his ashes that we put in like almost it looked like a ring box. And the rest of it went to her. And so we had this little sack of ashes in we had it at the college, right? Because we had to move after this happened. We had nowhere to go. So they were in college. I got to live on the college campus for a few months as like a 9-year-old because we had nowhere else to go and we had to get out of the house.
Live in that house.
We were going to live in the house. And I have friends
as a 9-year-old on a college campus.
Oh, yeah, it was good. And it was a very family friendly college campus. And I had some friends. Well, I mean, they weren't friends at the time, but I made some friends that lived there themselves. And I had a crush on like one of the guys. This was a good time. It was a good time.
Yes. So,
but we carried the ashes around is the only reason why I said that. Like we had it for a couple of weeks.
A couple of weeks after he passed. Well, we had to wait for the investigation, the toxicology, all that stuff. Yeah. And then, yeah, we got his ashes and we wanted to take him to Oklahoma and bury him in the family cemetery.
Just get rid of him.
Yeah. So, we had the ashes on on top of the refrigerator at the college. And that's when we really when stuff started happening. So all of us were having dreams of my dad chasing us.
Oh, even real quick, sorry not to interrupt, but our cousin, who is my paternal cousin, he's not related to my mother biologically. Cousin. Yeah. Oh, paternal means my father's.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You said our cousin.
Oh, I did say our cousin. Anyway, my cousin, her nephew, but my dad's biological nephew, so not even on her side. He went in with my other grandpa from the other side, and they helped clean some of the stuff out of the room. And which that's something real quick that nobody tells you about taking your own life. They don't send out a cleanup crew. You either have to pay for it, like thousands upon thousands of dollars, or you have to clean it up yourself. My grandpa had what did he have? He had blood disease.
Alpha-1 antitrypsin. No. He had hepatitis.
He had hepatitis
from the army.
He had hepatitis, and my father and my grandfather had to go in there and clean all of that up. My little brother lost all of his toys. You know, they don't talk about that for the record. But there's a reason why I brought that up. What was I just saying? Oh yeah,
they went in about that. But wasn't there a movie about it where they had the girl? Well, no, you had to clean it yourself, but she had a cleanup service for people that did what your grandfather did.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
I'm sure, but yeah, I was traumatized for years, so I tried to stay away from all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, sunshine cleaners or something like that.
I would probably look into that honestly, because now I'm unaffected and I don't mind watching that sort of thing. But yeah,
one of the famous Amy's is in it. It's really good.
Okay. Yeah, but no one really talks about that. But yeah, so my cousin, he was around my age. He's only 3 years older than me, so he probably would have been like 12 at the time. So he didn't go and actually clean up, everything. But he did go in when it was time to start like cleaning stuff out of the house and like move. And he said that he went up to the wall. Oh, I didn't even mention the actual, because that's extra traumatizing. But okay, real quick before I tell you what happened with Phil. I was in bed. As I said, I heard fireworks go off, which I later found out were not fireworks. He was in the room next to me about a week before. Even at the age of 9, I was always rearranging my room all the time. I was able to, for whatever reason, I was able to lift my bed on my own. I was able to lift my dresser on my own, and I was just always moving it, from one side of the room to the other. So about a week before, I had this random feeling like I needed to move my bed from the side of the room that the wall we shared to the other side of the room where there was a window. No reason. I just felt like, I feel like this is what I gotta do. So anyway, good.
Yeah. I'm just going to.
Okay. So anyway, I moved my my bed to the other side of the room, and the bullet actually ended up going through my wall and landing on my bed while I was sleeping. And I slept the whole night with the bullet in my bed. And I actually had a cute little like Hannah Montana comforter, and I actually kept it for like a year or so afterwards, not realizing. But as soon as I found out about that, like I got rid of it immediately. But yeah, I was literally sleeping with it all night long, and I was told that by where it went through in the wall, if I would not have moved my bed just randomly a week prior, that it probably likely would have hit me.
But it went through him, and then it went through your wall and landed on your bed. Wow.
Yeah, right? Went through him, went through the wall, landed on my bed. Crazy, crazy stuff. Very scary, very sad. But the reason why I brought all that up is my cousin, he went and he put his finger into the hole in the wall. And then he started having dreams. We all started having dreams. He started having dreams, and he's someone who's very skeptical. He's very science brained. And he's only just recently, within the last like year or so, started to like consider, you know, other possibilities for things. But he was having the dreams. My grandpa was having the dreams. My dad was having the dreams. I was having the dreams of him chasing us.
Yeah, and my son too. But
and something else I forgot to mention, since we're talking about dreams, is I had a dream about a week before he died that he died, and I was like really freaked out about it. And he wasn't a Christian, and I, you know, like I was a Christian at the time, and I still believe, but anyway, I was a Christian at the time, and it really affected me. He was actually supposed to go to church with us that morning, and he had agreed to go to church with us that morning. And I would cry and cry and cry over the idea of him not being a Christian. So I remember in this dream, I found out that he was going to die soon. And I don't think he had actually even died in the dream. We were just like, you're going to die soon. So we sat and I prayed with him. I was like, let's pray and pray and pray. And you'll become a Christian and it'll all be fine. And you'll go to heaven and blah, blah, blah. I had this dream just randomly. It's the first time I ever had a dream like that in my life. And then a week later, he passes away. And that ends up being a theme in my life, which we can get into later. But I'm sorry. You were talking about the dreams in general, and then you were going to go into your story.
So what kind of dreams are you is starting to happen? What you said the cousin's having dreams. What's he dreaming about?
Basically, just my dad chasing everybody. My dad like being very scary and him chasing us. And something you need to know about my dad is that my dad was like a big teddy bear. He was very sweet, kind, and loving. And the man who showed up at our house, I kind of make a distinction between him and the man I grew up with. My dad was very sweet, very loving, shy, just an all-around good guy. And the man who showed up at our house didn't have the same demeanor. He didn't have the same vibe. He completely changed his appearance. He was very very conscious, self-conscious about his hair because he had started getting bald at like 23, and he always wore hats. But
I feel so
he always
bad
looked
for
nice.
men that are balding. That's like one of the things that I think our society, like if you made fun of women that were balding, that would just be so not cool. So I think our society needs to stop making fun of bald men. But that's just
I'm attracted to bald men.
you know what?
I don't have an issue.
Bald, if I were going bald, I'd shave that shit. I'd like shave it and like make it all shine. It's sexy.
Well, so my dad didn't do that though. He wore like trucker hats because he was a truck driver, and he was just a really cool, nice, sweet guy. And this guy, he didn't have the same reservations. He didn't have the same hang-ups. I mean, he went and got his ears pierced, which was not even something.
I didn't even remember that.
Yeah.
Oh, he was going through a crisis.
He was.
Or if that wasn't obvious enough by what he did. But.
Yeah, he really was.
So in the 1 month he was living with you, he got his ears pierced?
2 weeks. And no, it was when he showed up at our house.
He had earrings.
He had earrings. He had shaved his head. He was wearing different clothes. It was just completely different.
Completely different guy.
Do you know what happened to him that made him be so different?
Now, he did have a lot of trauma without divulging a bunch of family stuff that doesn't really matter. But he had a really rough childhood. He had, people, do certain things to him and hurt him in certain ways. And then on top of that, he had a drug problem for a really long time.
Mm-hmm.
I was just going to ask that question.
Mm-hmm.
Was there any substance abuse?
At that time, he was out.
He was an
drinking.
alcoholic, but we didn't know that because at the time they were very anti-alcohol. They didn't drink until after he had passed away. I had never seen them drink. Not that they didn't, but I had never seen them drink ever. But he was hiding like beer, like cases and cases of beer that we found. And I remember one time the neighbors that I mentioned were partying next door. I remember one time I accused their kids of dumping trash bags full of beer cans into our backyard because I was like, my parents don't drink. Why the hell would there be trash bags full of beer cans in the backyard? And I mean like huge industrial sized trash bags full to the brim with beer. He would hide he would hide outside or hide in the garage, and he would drink, and we didn't know until after he passed away.
Yeah, we found a lot of stuff after he passed away, but so yeah, I mean, it was just my dad.
I worked in substance abuse. I'm an ex-social worker, so I did some substance abuse, and I did intake.
All
so
about
yeah, it's very sad. It's tragic.
Yeah.
And
then his wife sucked. So
yeah, she did.
Must have probably been in a lot of physical and emotional pain and spiritual too. I'm
very sick.
Yes. And since he's passed, I don't talk about this a lot, but I'm very concerned because there was such a drastic change that I put my DNA out on GEDmatch just in case.
Oh, wow. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
We don't really talk. Yeah, there was also some other things that maybe aren't appropriate to share, but that we found out, like weird things he would say or he would do about just different people. And he never did anything to me. He never did. Like, I'm totally fine. Everything's good.
Yeah.
But there were just things that sounded very out of character for him that I found out he had said or done. And even he was a truck driver. I don't remember if we mentioned that, but he had gotten fired because he got violent and like tried to like beat the crap out of somebody on the highway, like in front of his family.
Yeah.
Due to like road rage. And just a bunch of other stuff.
Was there an autopsy done when he passed away? Was there
there was
anything in his brain or anything?
They didn't say anything about the brain, but he did have hepatitis that he got when he was in the army, supposedly, through the vaccinations because they used to use guns.
But also he was a drug user too.
Yes.
So who knows what really happened.
Yeah,
they were wilding back then.
Yeah. So
like heavy drugs.
So I did find out that people who have suffered with hepatitis for that long, it starts eating away at their brain or something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what somebody had told me when I shared the story, that that seems to happen after a very long period of time of having it.
And it would have been like he would have had it for 30, 40 years.
He would have had it, for probably 40 years by that point.
He fighting Nam?
Well, he was too young to go to Nam. He signed up when he was 17.
But it was a couple years later because I know his brother went to Nam. So it was just a couple years later. Yeah, so it was around that time, just a little bit later.
Did he go to war, though? Did he go to war?
No, because he signed up when he was 17. He lied about his age, and it's just a whole thing. And so they didn't let him go, but he actually wanted to go. So yeah, he stayed, in the country.
So then what are some of the experiences that you started having, Amber?
Yeah, so like I said, the dreams where he was chasing us and being very ominous and scary. Then when we moved to the college, I would have to walk across the campus to get to the sub, where the mailboxes.
Student Union Building.
Yeah, the Student Union Building. And or go down to the laundry, and I would literally feel my dad behind me. Like I could feel his presence, his essence, and I could feel like
I would smell him sometimes.
Yeah,
for like the first year or so.
And he would like stalk me basically, and I remember like walking really fast to get wherever I was going because it genuinely felt like he was chasing me.
Which is so unusual too, because normally when someone passes away, you like to think of them like fondly and think of them like, oh, they're right next to me. Oh, this is, the sign of them. And it was completely the opposite for us. And this was the first death I ever experienced, by the way. So I just totally thought that the way that things happen when you died were totally different. Like I thought it was normal to have to go to the police station and get interrogated when you just passed away from cancer or something, But
yeah.
Just being honest. But anyway, sorry, I keep
Write a
interrupting.
book someday about what you thought was normal.
Oh, I always think about writing a book,
Trauma.
actually.
What was trauma and not normal?
So
Sorry, I'm a Gen Xer. I laugh at trauma too. So
we're all on the same page. We're good. You can laugh and be like, ha, that's hilarious. I'm not offended. Not offended.
Yeah.
No matter what we say, you're good.
Yeah.
You're fine.
Sometimes
I
people are
laughed
like,
at a very
"That's like she's talking about somebody who's dead and she giggles." And it's like, but I can't be serious the whole time. What?
yeah, you're fine. Laugh all you want. You're
So I had those experiences, and then the most major one that happened was the night before my dad's funeral
in Oklahoma.
Yeah, we traveled from Florida to Oklahoma, and we were in a hotel, and my dad's ashes were at the bottom of the bed because there was a chest at the bottom of the bed, and we had our suitcase there, and it was in there. And I was laying in bed, and all of a sudden this guy appeared. He was probably around 5'8". He was absolutely as white as you can possibly get. Just his skin was bleach white. And he had a bald head, and he was super skinny, super emaciated. You could see his bones. He didn't have a shirt on. And he was bare chested, but he had on shorts, and they were camo shorts. So like fatigues or whatever, but they had been chopped off. And so you could see like the little frays at the bottom. And he didn't have any shoes on. He was barefoot. And like I said, I'm not a zealot, so I'm not like having weird experiences like this in a normal setting, or I wasn't at that time. So all of a sudden, this guy, he starts telling me, "Hey, Amber, it's going to be okay. Everything is going to be okay." And I'm like, "Okay." And he's like, "You know what? I think you need to do is you need to pray pray your dad into your heart." And first of all, that's not how I speak. When I talk about becoming a Christian, I don't talk about praying Jesus into your heart or anything like that. That's just not my vernacular. So for him to use those words was just really odd. So I knew it didn't really come from me. You know what I mean?
Were they his words? Yeah. Like, would he have used that kind of wording?
My dad,
he wasn't a Christian.
No, my dad, no.
He didn't.
So we just kind of went back and forth, him telling me that it's going to be okay, and I just need to pray Jesus into my heart, and then me saying no. And I finally said, if I did talk like that, if I did pray somebody into my heart,
because she believes in baptism, she's not like, rather than praying someone into the heart, because like that's like a normal usage that like people like talk about. I just felt like that made a little more sense to just say she believes more so in baptism rather than just praying someone into your heart.
It doesn't sound like praying. How do you that doesn't sound Christian either, praying someone into your heart. That doesn't sound Christian.
Yeah, so I know my mind wasn't coming up with this. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I've never heard a Christian say it. I'm going to pray you into my heart. That doesn't make sense. That kind of like you're supposed to already be in their heart.
Somebody else. Jesus.
Yeah. So we just went back and forth, and finally I said, if I were to pray somebody in my heart, I would only pray Jesus into my heart. And then he disappeared, and my husband popped up immediately.
It was a demon that was around. Like, I hate to use the D word, but it sounds like it was, because that sounds sus.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so my husband popped up immediately, and he's like, "What's wrong? What's wrong?"
And she can't move the whole time, from what I understand.
Yeah.
She doesn't suffer from sleep paralysis.
Yeah, no, I've never had that problem before.
And not even since, right?
Yeah, no. And so he pops up and he's like, "What's wrong, Amber?" And he's like, "I've been sitting here praying this whole time, but something is really wrong." So obviously, whatever happened, my husband couldn't hear it,
but he could feel it.
He could feel it.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, that's what's really kicked off everything. Just that experience. And then after that, we just kind of, we ended up moving into her grandparents' rental property.
A few years later.
Yeah, a few years later.
Probably at least like 6 years later.
Because we had, in Florida.
In Florida.
In Florida.
2014. So it would have been 4 years later, 2014.
Okay. No, actually it was 2015.
2015? Oh yeah, because it was right before your mom passed. But we were staying in the Orlando area, which is where, the event happened. And then this is in the Tampa area. So we moved like 2.5 hours away. Sorry, not that really matters, but.
Yeah. So we moved there and it was a really, really cruddy place. We only moved there because we had to get out of our rental property in Kissimmee because the people wanted it back, and it was like immediate. They didn't give us any like notice or anything.
Like a month or something.
Yeah, it was really crazy. So we couldn't find any place there in Kissimmee, so we just decided to go over to this rental property, and we thought we'd only be there at a max 6 months. We ended up staying there 6.5 years.
Just because I'm in Florida, what did you say? What city it was that you moved to after Kissimmee? Did you say
Newport Richie?
Newport Richie, yeah, Tampa Bay area.
I live very near Newport Richie. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we can have a conversation later, but we were in that area.
We actually moved from the Spring Hill area to Kissimmee to go to school, and then we moved back to the Newport.
But you know what we're talking about. Tampa Bay. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Pasco. Yikes.
Well, I'm actually Citrus. I'm Citrus County. I'm like kind of like further out. I wanted to be away
gotcha, but close enough.
There, but I'm Citrus County, not that far.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah. So this house was really odd, and before we had moved there, my niece had lived there, and she had had some paranormal experiences. And she had always told us about it. And so I was very leery to move in there. But we kind of were in a no-win situation. We had to do it.
Going through paranormal stuff. There was paranormal stuff there. I was kind of leery, but what are you going to do? Homeless, live in a haunted place. Haunted place it is.
Yeah.
And something worth noting, I feel like, is my cousin's husband, I guess they weren't married officially at the time, but her husband was staying there with her, from time to time, and he is very skeptical of the paranormal. Oh, yeah. He does not believe in anything like that. Like, he's even to this day, he's in the army. He's just one of those guys. But he was saying, he's like, I don't believe in the paranormal, but I don't like that house. He says, there's something in that house that watches over me while I sleep. So I wanted to say that.
People don't believe it, but they're like, yes, but this is happening.
He's like, I don't believe it, but something's happening. So, sorry.
Yeah. So that's the context of this house. So, and it was in a really weird, sketchy area, and the neighbor was like absolutely weird. We're not going to go. We're not going to go into that. Okay. So, anyways,
lots of weird neighbors in Florida.
Yes. Pasco County is weird.
I feel like that we don't have to talk about it right now, but I feel like that neighbor is paranormal in herself and might even be something worth mentioning.
Oh,
but maybe not right now. But we'll get into it later.
Okay,
is it the land? Was it possibly the land? If it was the neighbor too,
could have been the land, because everyone in that area, the person. Okay, so we're in a middle house, right? We're actually like the only actual house in the area. Everything else is like trailers and stuff, which is like fine. But anyway, so we're in the house. One of the trailers, it's someone who got arrested for kidnapping and something like that sort of thing back in the 90s. Then it was us, and then the next one over is this crazy lady who we'll maybe talk about later, maybe not, but her husband, while we were there, along with a bunch of other stuff, She was mentally
really
ill though, so she got to come back
negative energy
afterwards.
feeding that area.
Yeah. And then there was like another chomo on the side of the house. And then across the street there was a guy who was friends with my dad for a while, but he did like a lot of really shady stuff. And there were a lot of really bad things that were happening over there too. And someone didn't try to, but told everyone in the neighborhood that he wanted to R-word me. And that was the person who lived 2 houses down. Oof, yeah. So lots of bad
people. Area. How long did you live here?
6 years, six and a half years.
Wow,
but one thing you need to know is that my husband is 6'6", 240 pounds, and
he's strapped.
He was constantly, out in the area watching, and making sure that things were fine. So it wasn't like we were in.
Yeah, people wouldn't mess with him.
Chomos are everywhere though now, so they're just everywhere.
Yeah, and you don't know half of the people who are really. So
and there was a bar in the neighborhood.
Yeah, it was a VFW, but
gotcha.
So anyways, it was a crazy place, and I was suffering from severe debilitating chronic migraines at this time. And so I was basically in bed for 26 days out of the month for about 6.5 years.
It was bad.
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't eat. I lost.
Were they any way associated with your menstrual cycle? Because that's what mine used to be. Because I only had like 4 good days out of the month because I was either going through PMS, the severe cramps, or the severe migraines. It was just a cycle that repeated itself.
So mine was from my fall because it starts in my neck. Oh,
that's right. You said from your fall. That's right. Sorry.
Yeah, but I did have a hysterectomy.
Within like a month of us moving there too.
Yeah,
which was another fun thing for her to deal with. She had a hysterectomy and then her mom died within a month of us living there.
And then I started getting the migraines. So, I mean, I'd had the migraines,
but they were exacerbated by
Yeah, so I would lay in bed and I listened to a lot of audiobooks because I couldn't read anymore. So I have like probably over 1,000 audiobooks. So yeah, I did that, and when I would lay there, I would hear what I thought was my husband coming into the room, and then sit down on the bed, but it wouldn't be him. I would hear like shuffling or feet moving. I would track it all the way across around the bed. I would feel something sit down on the bed, but then when I would look over, it wouldn't be my husband. There would be nothing there. And
could you see the indentation in the bed?
It was usually always dark, so I couldn't see, and my vision was pretty messed up at that time because I was always blurry, and so that was happening, and then I don't know why this happened. It's the weirdest thing, but the nun from The Conjuring, they made me watch it.
Yeah.
I'm telling you what, after that, when I would hear that shuffling or whatever, I would literally see that nun just standing there. And I was like, okay, this has got to, I don't know if this is the migraines. I don't know what is going on, but I would see that kind of stuff. And so, yeah, that happened there. I don't remember anything other than that happening there.
But the vibes are just so off there. Like, and she was, okay, something that's also worth mentioning. We stayed there for 6.5 years. A couple, unfortunate circumstances came about, and they ended up staying with my grandma for a couple weeks, who lived in Brooksville, which is probably about like 30-45 minutes away from where we are living. Okay. She goes to live with them, and I'm living on my own by the way. At this point, I've since moved back in with mommy and daddy, but I was doing my own thing. I spread my wings for a couple of years. So anyway, But they moved in, and almost immediately her migraines and her sickness and stuff wasn't like gone, but like she could actually do stuff again. The second she got out of that house, it was better.
Yeah.
And then she would go to that house to like help clean up or to like to do something, and then immediately she's sick again, like horrible. I don't know if it was like mold or if it was like, you know, just the aura, but like everybody else was fine. We were fine. But that's also when my dad went. I wouldn't say he necessarily went through a deep depression, because I feel like that's probably not how he would describe it. But he started sleeping all the time. He was always on the couch watching TV. He didn't do anything. They all stopped going to church. You know, it was just bad. It just, like, or
sounds like the house was
anything,
just
but
draining all
he
of
just
you.
felt bad. Like, yeah, just completely drained. I had to get out of there. I hated it. I always felt like there was something watching me, but I never saw anything. I don't want to make it seem like I did, because I did not. And then also Charles, my little brother, his room was almost kind of like a closet. It was super, super small. And that was the room where not only did he say that he felt something in there, my cousin who had lived there previously, she said that she'd always smell cigarette smoke in there. And apparently, according to some people, like a smell of smoke is like a telltale sign that there might be paranormal stuff happening. Again, take that however you will.
Odors
but, you know,
in
that's just something
itself
people
are
say.
telltale signs.
Yeah.
So this is not your dad. You don't think this is just something completely different?
No, just something.
Follow you at all or anything like that, right?
We don't know if it followed us or not. Well, honestly, with her dad, this might sound dramatic, and we're not saying this is definitively what it was.
I don't think it was your dad. I think it was something else pretending to be him.
I did too.
Well, I don't think her dad was involved in anything. We think, again, everyone don't think we're crazy, but we kind of think that her dad was possessed. It took me a lot of years to think that. I still don't know what I believe. I don't really even know what I believe about the paranormal. I don't know if I think it's demons. I don't know if I think it's ghosts. I don't know what I think it is. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm open to all interpretations. Yeah. I'm
I
open
had
to
a
all
friend that
interpretations.
thought all paranormal stuff was UFO stuff too. So who knows what it is?
I believe in UFOs. I believe in a lot of things, and I'm open to
completely
believing in a lot of things.
I believe in UFOs and cryptoids more than I believe in the paranormal. But I think
same.
We live in such this is not it, and the cracks are starting, the seams are starting to bust, and things are starting to bust through, and people like your uncle, like, I don't know, I don't believe in anything, but something's there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like more and more people are
definitely
experiencing this kind of weird activity.
Have you ever heard of the theory that time, time really just is a construct of our own imagination, but that time doesn't really exist, and that the past, present, and future are all happening at once in locations? So a lot of people think that, like for instance, here, we live in Missouri, so there was a lot of Native American populations. So, right now in this physical space, just in a realm that we can't see, there's, people, walking in the marshes, the Native Americans walking in the marshes in this area. And then there's us doing this. And then there's whatever, is coming in the future. And it's all happening right in this exact place at the exact same time.
I heard that.
I never really gave any thought to that. I never really gave it any power or whatever up until like the last maybe month or so. And I was just thinking, yeah, maybe that is what it is. Because a lot of times I don't believe, I believe demons exist, I think. But I don't think most hauntings are because of necessarily demons or ghosts. I think it's more so like an energy. I feel like there's energy. We all have energy within ourselves. And then I was like, okay, well, that kind of feeds into my energy thing. I was like, maybe it's just like the energy stays there because it's always happening. It's always happening because everything that's ever happened is happening in the same spot all at once. You just can't see it because you're just perceiving things. I don't know. I know that sounds a little crazy.
No,
but
that's the complete theory that's out there. It's that, the Matrix theory. I mean, you take your, I lean more towards the energy, like everything's happening all at the same time, all at once, and but I also am I'm a reincarnation kind of person. I think like we reincarnate.
I believe in reincarnation as well,
and our family and that kind of stuff. And when you marry into another family, then that family, and I believe in generational curses and all of that.
Yes. Well, as far as the reincarnation thing, what I believe, at least what I think I believe, I don't really solidly believe a lot. I'm very open to having my mind changed with new evidence and stuff. But the way that I figure in my mind you know, it's indisputable that we all have some sort of an energy within us, whether you want to call it a soul or you want to call it this, that, or the other. So also, energy cannot be created nor destroyed. So in my mind, I feel like the same energy that's always been within the universe or within the world, has just always been here, is staying here. And, you know, when you pass away, the energy that's within you leaves and it goes to another person, but it's still the same energy that's always been around. So I don't know if I necessarily believe that, like, you know, oh, I was Marilyn Monroe in another life, or, you know, something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But maybe, you know, and she's just an extreme example, but because a lot of people like to compare themselves to her, but, you know, maybe I wasn't Marilyn Monroe in another life, but maybe part of the energy that was inside of her recycled and came back to me, and is maybe also in her, and then, you know, a bunch of other people, something similar to that effect. And I think that's how I process it.
Yes, that's the whole purpose of putting good out there, because when you're putting it out there, it's recycling back into other people, and then it's recycling when you cross over. It's just, you know, it's recycling, and that's what it all is. It's not new energy, but it's but what do you guys think about this? Like, where do the UFO people, are we earthlings that are creating the same energy, and we're just like reincarnating within the earth energy, or do we go out there and we reincarnate on other planets? How do you perceive that?
So for me personally, now I'm always evolving my mind, my thinking, you know, trying to figure this out. But in my opinion, I think a lot of the alien stuff is angels and demons. And I say that because of the Bible. There's several instances of what would be considered a UFO of some sort.
Like a flying chariot and stuff like that.
Yeah. And
no, there are a few UFO references in there. I know that because I hear the UFO people talk about it.
Yeah, and so with that, and then you take so the Book of Enoch, have you heard about that?
Yes, I have, but I haven't read it, and so I've heard of it.
Okay. So I have read a little bit of it. I haven't delved too deep into it, but it talks about,
it's an alleged lost book of the Bible, for context, for anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about.
Yes. And it talks about basically it's the story of why God flooded the earth. Basically. Why Noah built the ark and why all of this happened. And it talks about angels and demons, or the fallen angels, coming down here, creating new life forms, experimenting. It talks about some demons or fallen angels having been put inside of like rocks, or at the bottom of a lake or whatever. I mean, there's all kinds of talk about that kind of stuff in there. And when I started watching Skinwalker Ranch, I know,
I don't know how much I believe in Skinwalker Ranch, for the record.
So the only reason I believe in
about Skinwalker a long time. I think
I believe in Skinwalkers.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So
I've never
the reason
been, though. I've always wanted to go, though, but I've always been too scared.
Me too. Yeah, but so the reason I think that Skinwalker Ranch is real is because I follow people like Dave Paulides, who does Missing 411, which is an awesome thing to look at. I encourage anybody to go pick up his books or go to his YouTube channel. And he talks about Bigfoot and aliens and things like that. And from the information I get from him, and then George Knapp, who broke the story on Bob Lazar back in the 80s, I guess, and other people like that, they actually give a lot of credit about what is actually going on there at Skinwalker Ranch, and that it's actually true and really happening. So in Skinwalker Ranch, there is this mesa, and they're in Utah. So there's this mesa that they've been trying to dig into. And
what's a mesa?
So it's like a big rock structure, you know,
okay.
like out in the desert, you know.
Gotcha. Sorry, I'm just asking.
Okay. So they've been trying to dig into this mesa with drills because there's been so much weird activity over there. And what they've found is well, for one thing, they can't get very far into the mesa, which is supposed to be just rock, but something is keeping it from going in. And then when they pull out the drill and they take core samples from the drill, you can they found particles that are used in spaceships and or like rockets and things like that keep it from burning up in the atmosphere and stuff like that. And this is inside of a huge rock.
Well, they're saying
in the
that's where they
desert.
are. They're staying they're in the ground now and in the water.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So-
And so I don't know what that means, but to have all of this weird phenomena happen at this one place and them finding space age technology basically inside of rock is very interesting. And so yeah.
Yeah, how does that connect to the
Aliens.
aliens
I
or
just-
angels and demon thing?
Okay,
I was just
so-
curious. I'm not. You just said something about angels and demons, and then you started saying that. I just didn't know if you had more to say on it.
So in the Book of Enoch, it talks about one angel being put in a mountain.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so you think it's an angel in the mountain?
It could be. I don't know.
Yeah, she just thinks
I'm just,
aliens might be angels and demons.
yeah.
And stuff.
That's where I was getting
Which
at.
I could see. I could definitely see. Has anyone heard of To the Stars Academy with Tom DeLonge from Blink 182?
No.
Do you know what I'm talking about at all?
I
Okay,
do not.
so this is going to be very surface level information. It's something it's something that I would love to do a deep dive on, but it is something that I know very little about. So take everything I say with a grain of salt. And I also don't even know how much I believe him. A lot of people think that people from the government are trying to use him as a thing to distract us from other stuff. But anyway, so Tom DeLonge, the lead singer of Blink-182, where are you? That voice. Okay, yeah, that guy. So he he started.
That's the one that Kourtney Kardashian's husband's
drummer,
right?
That's the band. Oh, sorry. I thought you were saying that was the same person.
Yeah.
No, it's the same band, different person though. Yeah.
Sorry. Okay.
Yeah. Travis Barker is the drummer of that band, but this is the lead singer of that band. Okay.
The lead singer.
So,
gotcha.
Yes, his name is Tom DeLonge. So if I say that, that's who I'm talking about. But anyway, he has, I don't know if it is an organization or a nonprofit or what it is. I don't know what it is. But he has something, it's called To the Stars Academy, and it's not like an actual academy. But basically he believes.
Oh, are they the ones that are
demons.
going? No, sorry, I just interrupted. Never mind. I thought he was the one that's sending people up into space, but that's another person.
That's SpaceX, I think.
Yeah,
with Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, this is something different. And I actually don't even know what they're doing right now. I haven't looked into it in a couple of years, and it seems like they've kind of slowed down. But especially since he's rejoined Blink-182 because he left for several years. And he also had a side music project called Angels and Airwaves, which is interesting to note. But he believes in aliens. He is actually working with several people that have worked in, secret intelligence agencies within the U.S. government. And he knows people that have worked at Area 51. He knows a lot of people. A lot of people think that, it's just the government trying to get us off the track and, kind of distract us with something. And he just happens to be somebody that's taking the bait. I don't know what I believe in that regard, but he firmly believes that aliens are angels and demons and that there is a spiritual war. And he's not even a Christian or anything, from what I understand. But he believes that there's a spiritual war of some sort and that they're going to war right now. I'd have to look more into it, but there's even a picture that he uploaded to Instagram of like an angel or something like that. And I believe in angels. I believe in angels. Actually, hold up real quick. I'll kind of see if I can put it up on here a little bit, but I have a tattoo. I'm gonna try not to flash everybody with my short shorts. I have a little tattoo. Ooh, it's a seraphim. It's really hard to tell, but it's a biblically accurate angel. That's how they say that the angels look in the Bible. And
Wait,
this is something. Oh, sorry.
I didn't see it.
Okay, it's kind of hard for me to do this. So let me see.
Just stand up.
Stand up. Oh, there's my Betty page.
Here, let me take myself off so you.
There we go.
Okay, yeah, that's
The
neat.
way to describe it is there's supposed to be a bunch of wings, there's supposed to be a bunch of eyes and stuff like that. So I would very much like to clarify that I was under the influence of a special plant. A special plant that you can see right here, okay? I was under the influence of a special plant. So take it like that. Don't take it as anything else. But that being said, every time I am underneath the influence of a special plant, I will be sitting out wherever I'm at, and there's one specific spot when I do it in this particular place where I will see. Actually, the way that I even know that the trip is coming on is I start to see eyes everywhere. I think Angels and Airwaves would be his band. I think it would be To the Stars Academy that would actually specifically talk about. Yeah, I think Angels and Airwaves was a music project, if I remember correctly. But To the Stars Academy is what I would look up. But yeah, every time that I know that a trip is coming on, it's because I start to see eyes in the trees. I start to see eyes everywhere, like freaking everywhere. It's crazy. But anyway, I see an angel watching over me that looks just like that darn tattoo. I see it watching me from the trees. And again, know for a fact that yes, I am under the influence of stuff. I'm not saying it's actually there, but personally speaking, I am of the belief that a lot of cryptids and stuff like that might actually just exist in another realm that maybe you can't see unless you're doing stuff like that. Mm-hmm. There are a bunch of different cultures that have the same cryptids, they have the same myths and legends and stuff, and they're cultures that would have never interacted with each other. And a lot of them also have different mushrooms that are native to their areas. And again, I'm not saying that anything is any kind of way. I'm not trying to convince anybody of anything. I'm not even telling you to do it yourself unless you want to, which I would recommend. I wouldn't say is a bad idea. But anyway, but yeah, I think that it's just kind of something that's like slightly beyond the veil.
All the cryptids veil is thinning because something's changing, and we're starting to be able to see that stuff. The other day I was reading something, and remember that Coco the gorilla, Coco the gorilla. Remember her?
I don't.
She was saying one of her last things she said was nature is watching.
I think I know what you're talking about now. I know what you're talking about now. But I feel like I'm being watched. Like I said, I do too. I haven't done something like that in a minute.
Yeah. I've been sitting outside a lot, and I just if you notice them, why am I like talking like I'm from New York all of a sudden? If you notice them, they notice you. Like the dragonflies, there's all these dragonflies are around me now, and the birds, if I talk to them, they talk to me, and even if the plants, like if you talk to them, the oxygen helps them along, and they help you, or what is it that we give? What carbons do we emit for the
carbon dioxide?
Carbon dioxide.
Whatever. We help them, they help us with the oxygen. It's just like I feel like the whole world is starting to wake up to each other. You're seeing more and more people with their dogs and dressing them up. And the other day I saw this video of this dolphin carrying a dog on its back. It's just like strange things are starting to happen in the world, and animals that would never come together are waking up to one another. And I just don't know, like it's speeding up. I feel like the world is speeding up right now.
Yeah, I spend a lot of time outside as well, and
me too.
I see a lot in the sky around us. It's very bizarre. I guess that there must be like, I guess there's a base fairly near to us that is an Air National Guard or something like that. And so we see a lot of Chinook helicopters and weird stuff. I've seen I've seen like stealth jets, stealth bombers.
One time, were you out there? I think it might have just been Dad and I.
No,
Just
it
a bunch
was
of
me.
lights shooting across the sky.
No, that was everybody told us this Starlink.
Yeah,
But Starlink, if that's Starlink, it looks like a straight up alien invasion.
Is it possible? Yeah, I've heard of the Starlink. Is it possible?
Mhm.
I was looking up in the sky, and I live by this small airport, and there was this plane going by, and there was this other thing in the sky, and I was watching the thing in the sky, and it was moving along at a clip, and then the plane started coming, and the thing that I was watching first reversed. Is it possible for another aircraft to reverse to let another plane go by? Is that possible?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
And I've seen stuff like that too. And so I don't know what it is, but it's very odd. And I've seen things zip around, not just in, a normal flight pattern and things like that. But that Starlink is absolutely mind-blowing.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's wild.
So,
okay, ladies, we're coming up on the end. We kind of went over a little bit. Did we cover the rest of the haunting, or is there more?
No, we didn't. If you want me to just go into a little bit of detail, since we moved here to Missouri, and I'm not the only one who's experiencing things. Even my neighbor's experiencing some things.
Yeah.
And
he's a skeptic.
Yeah. And Alaura has seen or felt some weird things here.
Did you guys bring it? Do you think you bring it?
I think we just are a magnet to it. I don't know if it followed us or if it's something else, but we're a magnet to the paranormal. I feel like.
Yeah, I think we are a magnet, and whatever odd things are around are going to be attracted
or you're a
to
battery.
us.
Sometimes it exists, and then the right family moves in, and it's the right battery, and it's like bing, turns it right on.
Yeah. So twice in our kitchen, and it's been right in front of our pantry. The first time I was standing in front of our pantry and my kids were sitting at the table and my husband was looking at me across the kitchen. And all of a sudden I got pushed on my right shoulder. And I was like, what the heck? And so I looked around and nobody was acting weird. Nobody acted like anything was different. And I was like, guys, something weird just happened to me. But I kind of played it off a little bit. And then maybe 2 or 3 months later, I'm not exactly sure, Alaura was standing over the trash can doing something, and I was behind her, and I was in front of the pantry again, and all of a sudden, I felt somebody put their arm on my right shoulder again. And I looked over, because I was like, that can't be Alaura, because she's in front of me. And then I felt a push. And so that's happened twice. And then when I was sitting on my deck outside, I had a lighter underneath my leg. And all of a sudden, it was grabbed and pulled out from underneath my leg. And my husband was sitting right there. And I was just like, what the heck? I jumped up. And then we had a weird incident the other day where our dog was like, you could tell he saw something and he was barking at it, and he was being, he tracked it the whole time, and he was just like, it would move, it wasn't like he was just looking at one thing. Yeah.
And even when you guys went out of town, and what was I supposed to do about it? I wasn't supposed to do anything, so I just kind of ignored it. But I was laying in their bed because I don't really have enough room in mine. And Franklin, which is our bigger dog,
he's a coonhound.
It's a coonhound. He has separation anxiety. So I slept in their room, and there was like one little corner he just kept barking and barking and barking at. And that's really all I've seen. Although
try to help these things along or get rid of them. Have you
What?
ever attempted that? Have you ever tried to attempt to move them along or help them to wherever they need to go? Or get rid
Tried
of
to
them?
pray, burn sage.
Yeah.
Well, I
Have you
burn
ever
sage.
had
My dad
anybody
doesn't
come
like
in the
that, but
home to help you? Because I used to have a
yeah.
group and I used to go do this kind of stuff. But have you ever
My
had
husband would.
But we've also had other weird experiences, and we won't get into it because I know it'll take way too long to explain. But we've gone ghost hunting before, like with like actual like machines and like what are they called? The
Dowsing rods.
dowsing rods, the EVP things, the ghost or the spirit boxes, the things where you can like it makes noises. When we were in St. Augustine at the prison, we heard something talking to us over the box, and I couldn't remember what it was.
I can't remember.
And again, like I said, I'm indifferent or I like Christianity, but I'm kind of indifferent to it. But I remember we were sitting with the dowsing rods, and it was, the thing was you'd come up with some kind of a code. Normally, you'd ask them yes or no questions, and yes would be like a Y, like it would open up, and no would like close and touch or whatever. And I remember, I think she asked like, "Oh, do you believe in God or do you fear God or something?" And no, and, oh shit. And then there's another prison that's kind of closer to our house now. We went and we saw and felt some weird stuff. And then on my birthday last year, which is the last time that I partook, we went on a ghost tour, and we went to some graveyards while I was, and oh boy, was that very interesting. The shop that we were in, we got really bad vibes. We had to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
We had to go to the bathroom, and it felt like something was watching us and like pushing us and stuff. And like it was so bad that
we ran out.
It was so bad that we both went into the bathroom at the same time. And it wasn't because normally when I do this, I'm not scared. I'm not scared at all. Like I'm completely fearless. Nothing freaks me out. And being in the graveyards actually felt peaceful. It wasn't scary. But in this one particular like shop that we were in the bathroom, scared the crap out of me. And like I said, I become fearless when I'm on this stuff, and it scared the crap out of me.
Yeah,
but
we were in Hannibal, Missouri, which is Mark Twain's hometown, and there's a whole lot of interesting stuff there.
But yeah, that's a story for another time. But
yeah,
whew, yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the most part.
Why don't you guys come back on the show and we'll talk more paranormal stuff?
We'd love to.
Shannon is going to love to talk to you because Shannon's favorite thing was to do the dowsing rods. I'm like, we were talking about the dowsing rods.
Yes.
She would always be like, Amy, can I use the dowsing rods? Because I would have like this tool thing, and she'd pick out the dowsing rods. So yes, please come back.
Yeah, of course. And I'd love to actually get some dowsing rods of my own, to be honest.
I don't know if I want
I don't
that
know if she wants it in her house, but I'll put it somewhere else.
Okay, so let's pull up your your channel real quick.
Yeah.
So it's Into the Weeds, but it says Outlandish History Featured. Yeah,
she probably needs to change it. She just
doesn't
know how to do stuff.
Yeah, up here it says Outland. So when you guys are, I'm going to put the link down in the description, but if you guys come to the channel and you see Outlandish History Featured, that's it. It's Into the Weeds podcast. So and change it to Into the Weeds or
probably.
Or is it like kind of like what I'm doing, the Outlandish History Network, and your podcast is Into the Weeds podcast? So I don't know.
Yeah, well, I'm also on military broadcast radio. So,
so if you guys watch our stuff, there's a bunch of weird commercial breaks and stuff.
Military broadcast radio.
Yes, military broadcast radio. It is an organization. It's a nonprofit where people who have either been in the military or first responders can have their own podcast, basically, with the help of MBR, encouraging them and giving veterans basically.
Baby, I'm dancing with you tonight. Here in the blue, I'm dancing and falling out, hoping for some time with you.